This twist detail completely transforms a simple gown. Let me show you exactly how to see it. Yeah, welcome to my channel. My name is Justina, and in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this flattering gown that has a twist detail in front, a kimono sleeve, and also a slit curve detail. If this is something you would like to watch, do well to stay to the end. So all my subscribers, thank you so much for sticking by. And if this is your first time here, you're welcome to Sowitia YouTube channel. To get started, you are going to be needing the following material. For my fabric, I made use of 2 years of vintage crepe fabric, but I'm going to tell you if you are going to be making yours, please try to get at least 3 years because I ended up managing my fabric for this particular tutorial. So for the length of this gown, I'm making use of 45 inches in my own case because it's a midi gown. So this is totally up to your preference. Now to get started, I'm going to be starting from my origin line and I'm going to go ahead to insert my vertical measurements. So the first measurement I have is from my shoulder to my waistline, which is 15.5 inches, and from my shoulder to my hip line, which is 24.5 inches in my own case. After indicating those points, I'm just going to go ahead to create horizontal lines as you can see me do on those particular points. So I went ahead to label the waist, then the hip line. So I'm going to be going back to the origin line and I'm going to be inserting my shoulder to sleeve length. Remember that this is a kimono sleeves, right? So my shoulder to sleeve length, I'm going to indicate it. In my case, I used 20 inches and also went ahead to indicate my neck width of 3 inches on the start line and my neck depth of 6.5 inches to create this V neckline. Now, from the end of my sleeve, which is on my shoulder, I'm going to be going down by 2 inches to create my shoulder slope down to the neck width, as you can see me do. Okay, and from there, I'm going to insert my sleeve opening. In my case, I worked with 9 inches. So initially, I marked out 8 inches, but I went ahead to add 1 extra inch to it to make it 9 inches. Now, on this particular nail line where I have my sleeve opening, I'm going to be inserting my bust round measurement divided by 4. In my case, I have 9.5 and I added zero point 0.5 for ease. And after adding zero point 0.5 for ease, I'm going to go ahead to add 1.5 inches, which is going to be for my seam allowance. So you can decide to do zero point 0.5 or 1 inches. That is totally up to you. Now, for this particular sleeve, kimono sleeve, it has this flare effect, okay? So we're not going to be making it the usual straight kimono sleeve. So that is why I just went ahead with my hand to draw out a curve on that sleeve opening part, okay? So I just went out to draw out this curve. And if you notice, the upper part of that sleeve is longer than the lower part that enters into the waist, okay? That is just to make sure that it falls nicely on the body. So after drawing out the curve, I'm just going to go ahead with my pattern master to shaping this out properly. So this is what the sleeve is going to look like. Then I went ahead to my waist point and I divided my waist point by 4 also, my waist round by 4 rather, and I added 1.5 inches, which is also going to be for my seam allowance. I divided my hip round measurement by 4 and added 1.5 inches on the hip line. After doing so, I went ahead to connect my hip to waist and from my waist down my to my sleeve opening point, as you can see me do. So now you want to make sure you take time to blend every necessary point at that place so that you don't have any pointed or sharp corner when you are done sewing. Now for the hip, because this gown looks like a pencil gown, I'm going to be taking away 1.5 inches from my hip measurements. So I ended up using 8 inches in my case. So from that 8 inches now, I'm going to be connecting it to my hip point, like so. Now after doing that, I went ahead to blend that hip point so that I don't have any pointed corner, any pointed point there. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead right now to label this clearly. because we're going to be using this to cut the front and we're going to be altering it to cut the back rather, altering it to accommodate our front pattern. So for the back, I'm going to be cutting, you can cut on fold or cut to pieces, okay? Because you will need two pieces for the back to insert a zipper, especially if your fabric is not really stretchy like mine. So mine has slight stretch, but not fully stretchy. So I went to the lower part and I realized that on the hemline, I forgot to add my 1.5 inch for my seam allowance that I added on the waist and the hip and the bust. So that is what I went ahead to do here, okay? So I just went to I added 1.5 inch. So this is my new line. So I took the line to the lower part, and from this point now, I'm just going to go ahead to trim out the excess I don't need. And on the shoulder point, I added zero point 0.5 for my joining allowance. So now we're going to be cutting the back on this point. And when I checked my fabric, I realized my sleeve length was going to be too long. So I had to remove 2 inches from my sleeve length. And that is why you can see my sleeve is a bit shorter than the inspiration we had. Okay, so I also went ahead to add 1 extra inch in front for my center back, which is going to be for my zipper allowance. So for the neckline of my bag, I did 2 inches and I used a round neckline. So I just went ahead to cut that part, as you can see. Then I went ahead to trim out the excess I will not be needing again. And I went ahead to just cut out the shape I have on my pattern. Also went ahead to open up my back pattern so you can see I have two pieces for the back. So I'm going to be turning the neckline with bias, just a bias strip, and I'm going to go ahead to fix the zipper and to sew the back completely up off camera. So we are back to the front and you can see my waist point and my hip line. So what we are going to be doing here is just to create slash lines. Now you have to create as many slash lines as you want, but just remember this is totally up to the fabric you want to use. Okay, so on the skirt part I created about 3 slash lines, okay, and on the upper part I had about 3 slash lines, so I later added one to each, okay, to make it 4 slash lines on the upper bodies and on the lower bodies. So that is what you can see me do. So I just created slash lines, making sure everything had came from an origin which is on the waist center front. I hope you get that. So after doing that, I just went ahead to label because there are times whereby when you are cutting, you can cut through your pattern and you might not know which part is missing. Okay, so it is really necessary to label, especially if you are a beginner. So after doing all of this right now, I also went ahead to the lower parts. We want to create our curve, that slit curve effect. So you go as high as you want. In my case, I did about, I think 7 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead to place my pattern master like so, because I want to try out a curve. You can make it as curvy as you want. So I went ahead to connect mine like this. And after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to add my 1.5 hemming allowance on the lower part like so. So this is what I have when I was done. So I'm going to cut that away and this is going to be our new front pattern. So you're going to cut very closely. You're going to slash through these lines and cut very closely, but don't cut through your pattern as much as possible. Don't cut through your pattern. And if mistakenly you cut through your pattern and it's at any point, try to, attach this back probably with a sellotape or a paper tape. Like I cut one of my mistakenly and I just attached it back. So this is what we have. You can spread as much as you want, but like I said, my fabric was just 2 yard, and I since this is a tutorial, I could not spread properly. So if you want yours to have that effect very well, please make sure you have enough fabric. So this is what I have after spreading. I went ahead to spread mine by 1 inch. So that was really small. So you can do as much as 2 inches, 2.5. Just know the higher you spread, the more fabric it consumes. So after doing that, I also went ahead to add 0.5 inches on all the parts I'm going to be joining. So this front part, I am going to be joining the two separate pieces together. Okay, so you can see what I have. I added 0.5 inches on all the points that I'm going to be joining. Okay, so after doing that, this is what I have on that particular part, and I'm just going to indicate the part I'm going to be joining together like so. So the next thing I'm going to do from those points, which is my front, this is what I have for the front. You can see that curved part. Okay, that's the part I'm going to be creating gather stitch on it. I'm going to create a stitch on it, a loose stitch on it once, which I'm going to use to create gathers to give me that twist effect. Okay, and after doing that, I'm going to go ahead to join it from the top down to the bottom to the point where I'm going to have my slits. Now, if you've watched this end and you're gaining value, please hit the subscribe button if you are yet to be subscribed. Turn on your notification bell so that when I post video, you get to see them. And don't forget to like, share this video too. So also remember to drop a comment if you really love this tutorial. So this is what the twist effect is going to give me after I gather at the back. So I've gone ahead on my machine now to create a gather stitch. I also went ahead to turn my neckline with a bias. This is what the neck looked like for the front. I did this off camera. So I also went ahead to stitch that the two pieces together for the upper part. So what I'm going to do here is I left about 1 inch before this curve detail. I'm just going to go ahead to pull my thread that I used in creating that gathers. So you can see the way I'm pulling. So because of the excess we have there, it's going to give that twist effect. And that is why I'm saying, that is why I said rather, that you join both fabric together. I just sew one line. Don't do it individually. Just sew one line. Then it's that line you use to gather both parts together. So before you do this, you can go ahead to overlock your edges in order for you to have a clean finish. So I've gone ahead to gather my, and after gathering, you can see this is what it's looking like. I'm not yet done. So this is what it's looking like. It's coming together already. So I'm just going to go ahead to finish up gathering it, and I'm going to go ahead to sew the lower part like so. All right, so when I get to that lower part where I have the curve detail, I'm going to be hemming the lower part individually due to the slit. So I've gone ahead to sew the upper part, and I've gone ahead to create that gathers. Then I've gone ahead to sew the lower part, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take both edge together. That is for the upper part and lower part, the corners. I'm going to take both edge together. Okay, I'm going to take both edge together, as you can see me do. Then I'm going to go ahead to stitch both end together. So just follow what I did. So go ahead to hold both ends together and stitch it down. So this is what I have after stitching both ends together. You can see that it's giving that twist effect already. And this is looking so beautiful. So after doing that, this is what it looks like on the front. And I'm just going to go ahead right now to join the back to the front, and I'm going to be doing this off camera. So you're going to be joining the back and the front right side to right side like this, and go ahead to hem your sleeve opening, and also go ahead to join it at the side using your seam allowance. So after doing that, this is what the outcome of the outfits look like. I hope you love this tutorial. Do let me know in the comment section.